Hello and welcome back to another segment in this course. Today, now that we have our chair together, we're going to go ahead and start putting together the scene here. So we have our chair. I'm going to select it. It's already grouped. I'm going to duplicate it, Control D, and just drag it over. I'm just saving a copy of it here, and this is the one we're going to use in our scene. I'm going to get this block here and move it over. I'm going to switch to just a normal select tool, and I'm going to resize it. So select our scale and just resize it to a general size. There we go. I'll put our chair in it. So I'm just going to start, this is just the beginning of the scene, and I'm not going to complete it. I'll leave that up to you to decide how you want to complete it. But we're going to make enough of this room corner that we can learn some more techniques before it's over. So here we go. Let's make this a little bit wider. There we go. So now we've got some walls. And we've got a chair. Right now you can see it's just a blank, just some blank walls, but this is going to quickly change. So let's start with the floor. I'm going to name this floor here. I'm going to name this there we go, ceiling, and name these wall. And then I'm going to group them all together, and we'll name this room. There we go. So now we have that, and by holding down Alt, I can select some of these objects. So I'm going to select the floor, and let's go for a nice wooden floor. So I'll give it some rich, there we go, some color, nice brown. Let's go with this one. And then for the walls, we could maybe do concrete. Works well as like a, that one looks like it's made of, well, it could be concrete, but you can use it for other things like stucco or something like that. I'm just going to go with plastic for now, and we'll just give it a bit of a neutral color. There we go. And the ceiling, we can also just do a nice light neutral color. There we go. Alright, so first step that we're going to do, so I'm going to get another one of these, I'm going to duplicate it and drag it in, is we're going to set up a fireplace in this room. So I'm going to make this about 6 wide, and I'll bring this guy over here so I can Control R to rotate him. Just going to set him up here for size comparison. And there we go. So let's change this to cobblestone here, and I'm going to make it a little bit darker. That's too dark. That's better. So I'll make it a little dark, and then we're going to have a piece up here and some sides to this. There we go. So there's the start, but we're going to have to remove some of the walls. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to drag it out of the way. So I duplicated it, and now I've got 2 parts, and I'm moving one to each side. There we go. Let's make this extend back. And I'm going to leave that one open so that we can have a proper chimney in this. So here's a good start to our fireplace. And this can come back a little bit. And we're going to grab some wedges now. Oops, there we go. Control R to rotate, there we go. And then we'll drag this into place here. Duplicate, rotate it again, and move it over. And then change the color to match. Perfect. So let's move this up a little bit in the middle. Right there. So this is starting to look nice. It's a little low. And what I'm going to do, I've got this move increment on shortcut, but I'm going to change it to 0.2 studs. So we've got a much smaller scale. And I'm going to resize it up a little bit. There we go. And I'm also going to get this. Control R will rotate around like this. Control T will rotate it towards you. Actually, I just noticed surfaces on the bottom weren't smooth, so let's quickly fix that before we go any further. Perfect. I prefer to keep everything smooth. So I'm going to get one of these, duplicate, and Control T, and then drag here. And you'll notice my drag increment size, I'm moving on a much smaller grid right now. And let's extend this out a little bit at 2. And we'll move that out 1. And I'm just using Control T and Control R to rotate that. So there we go. We've already got a nice bit of a fireplace. Let's do one more thing here. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to move it up. Change it to 0.2 moving. And what we're going to do here is add a nice extra little piece here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make these slate. I can just hit S to switch between all the options that start with S. So there's slate. Let's make it darker. And I'm going to change the movement to only 0.1 studs. We don't need a lot. Just want it sticking out ever so little. Move this out, move that out. And this looks a little odd here, just that corner. So what we can do is we're going to rotate, move it over, and then have it go back in like so. No, we can do that, or we can use delete that. I'm actually going to use this here. That's oddly positioned. There we go. That looks better. So I'm going to duplicate that little piece, move it over here, and move one of these over. And that's a little much. Seeing how much extends right here. There we go. Alright, so we've got a nice front here. We'll make it extend back just a little bit. I don't need any rotation on this, except for rotating at 190. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to smooth out, move back so I can see the handles, smooth out going into there. There we go. So there we've got our fireplace ready, right there. This is looking nice. One more thing that we want. And this is gonna add just a nice little detail. We're going to change this to wood. Let's actually make it a nice dark piece of wood. There we go. And that, our wood grain's good. We've got wood grain running the length here. And then I will get, let's see here, what size do I need? I'm just gonna change it to 1 by 1 by 1 in size. Rotate it up. You notice I'm moving my camera around a bit when I'm rotating stuff, and that's so that I can get the rotation to come out correctly. Using Control T and Control R, and you'll figure out how it works best for you when you start using it. So there we've got, that'll work. I'm gonna move it up one, and then I'm gonna drag this, oops, over here, and you can see there's like 0.2 stud gap there. Yep, it's the same. So now we have a nice little mantle above our fireplace. We've got the actual fireplace there. So let's hold Alt, select that, duplicate. Change to a 1 stud grid and fill this up with wall here. Perfect. And just to make it look nice, we can actually just extend that up all the way, and we don't actually need that there, but it's more for looks in this case. Now that we have this here, we really just need this size, and I'm going to show you a trick here. I'm going to change, I'm just going to use half a stud here. So now I'm using half there, half here, and I'm going to change this one to cobblestone as well. It's actually too big. So the thing is, looking here, it's gonna, we don't need the entire back of the wall here for fireplace, and I'm actually going to shorten this up a little bit, give it a little more realistic proportions here. Perfect. Alright, so there we go. We have that, and on the inside I'm actually going to, on the outside I'm going to make it a little smaller in the end. Here's our chimney. And the reason I'm doing it this way is so that if you ever, for some reason, wanted to take a look at this, then you could actually, if you could come in here, you could see all the way up. It's just a fun little thing. Depending on how big your fireplace is, you may or may not need to do it. That's looking nice on the inside. We don't actually need too much on the outside, so I'm just going to leave it at this for now. And so now we have our little fireplace there, and we've got our chair here, and let's add, we're going to add a rug, and let's do this. So I'm just changing between different size grids. so that I can quickly make some of these. And we're going to turn this fabric, we'll give them a nice red rug on the floor. There we go. Alright, I'm going to pause here, and in the next video I'm going to show you how, this is just a square rug here, but I'm going to show you how we can use something that Roblox has called unions to make a single part for this rug, but that's rounded all around the edges. So we get a nice extended rug that's got some nice round ends to it. So I'm going to stop here and stay tuned for the next video.